I was 10 years old. In the 5th grade, we were allowed to join band as an elective, and I called my grandfather, who was a amateur bassoonist but played in like civic orchestras and stuff. And I said, I want to play the piano. He said, well, piano's not such a great choice because you can't carry it around with you. Why don't you play the clarinet? I said, okay. Hung up the phone, went and picked out a clarinet. That's the end of it. I've been playing the clarinet now for 28 years.
It wasn't until I started exploring the dance scene that I started to get a lot more excited about it. And there was something about bringing the physical body in all aspects and in all kinds of variations to the stage that was really intriguing to me.
I'm not going to be one who people are going to pay money to come and hear me play a Brahms sonata or a Weber concerto necessarily, but this is something that is really unique, and so I feel like this is how I can make my stamp in the clarinet world. It's not playing Brahms. I'll leave those for the more famous people, you know, but this is something that is unique to me.
What is being said through the body and what is being said musically, I mean, music is also a text. I think that the dialogue, it's very real and it's very deep. And it's not that, just because I'm not saying, John, hey, come over here, I'm ready to procreate, for example, right? I'm not saying that directly, but it's very clear through some of the movement.
I am a completely different musician and artist because of her. What's ironic is we talked to each other 6-7 years ago about, yeah, we'd like to work together. Yeah, I want to collaborate with you. Okay, so I walk into the studio with my music stand and my clarinet and I put it down on the floor and I say, okay, go, I'll play. And Melanie was like, oh, no, this is not collaboration. You have to come out here with me. And I was like, no, I'm the musician. I stand here and play and you dance and we're done. And so that was the beginning. And then I realized what this is, to truly collaborate.
I really like how I can communicate like certain types of humor in particular to an audience, that they don't necessarily have to be on stage doing it, but that the performance is bringing them to those places. I started thinking about, okay, well, where is this going? And then the dress that I'm wearing looks actually, I mean, I do look like a chicken, but I also look very much like a banana while I'm wearing it.
Quickly fold in some more of the hot mixture into the thick yolks. Cook until firm.
So I started to be like, oh, how can I make these different layers end up joining? And the recipe ended up doing that for me. The character is really odd from the beginning, right? You can tell it's obviously kind of representing a chicken, but then this chicken is getting extremely sexual in the end part of it. And then you see this being backstage or on the film projection eating bananas and being also relatively suggestive with the banana. Is she really doing that? I love that question. Is she really doing that? Because that surprise element is really fun. And I mean, I think people appreciate surprises in everyday life, and in the performance setting, it's like, it definitely feeds me as a performer. So the chicken came out kind of right away. I've been waiting here
all day, or perhaps longer. I would have liked to try those wings myself. It would have been better than this.
The sexually suggestive aspects of it really brought up notions of eggs. And as an aging academic female, there's always a certain kind of like, oh, your biological clock is happening, and what is that going to mean for you in terms of your profession? It's also interesting from the perspective of John being a gay man who is not interested in reproduction in that particular way, and or the egg, perhaps. And so there's kind of a rejection on his part of it.
I have a really strong connection with the Messiaen for some reason. He wrote it in 1942, I believe, when he was actually in a prisoner of war camp in World War II. And it was premiered in a Nazi camp. There's something about that piece that just really speaks to me in terms of color, sound, and emotion. I've always loved that piece. I learned it when I was 20 years old, and it's just one of those things that I come back to every 3 or 4 years, and I find a whole new layer to it. It requires a certain amount of maturity that I know I didn't have when I was 20, and now I'm finding that it's getting deeper and deeper as I perform it more.
Do you feel like we are just like going deeper and deeper and deeper? And it's not just that you discover something about the person you're working with, because you absolutely do, and you discover something about the relationship, which you absolutely do, but you're discovering the degree to which you can take your form.
When we were in Calgary a month ago, Melanie and I went to a dance performance, and we were walking home, and I said, you know, I feel sort of bad. And she said, why? I said, well, because I don't look beautiful like that on stage. I'm not a beautiful dancer. And Melanie just looked at me like, you know, silly child. And she said, if I wanted to work with dancers, I'd work with dancers. I'm working with you. The very opening scene where we're moving on the light diagonal, and then we get about here. And the whole time what's happening is we're looking at each other. And it's sort of like, I see in Melanie's eyes, she's sort of like, we're going to do it. You're good. We're good. You know, and it's just like, I just need that little bit of reassurance. And then from there, that sort of opening connection really makes me really happy. It's just, it's love. It's just, I mean, I love her so much, and she loves me, and we wouldn't be doing this for so long if we didn't love each other and we didn't want to create work together.
During the week, I was like, God, this is just so hard. Why do I do this? And then you get to the end of a performance, right? And you're just like, we were able to take ourselves somewhere. We were able to take the audience somewhere, and somewhere that was not expected. And those elements, I mean, they're priceless.